在呢，我就是在美国洛杉矶，我所在的位置呢，就是我们的坏机器人制作公司。等一下呢，非常荣幸，我将可以采访到我们的大导演 Abrams， 他将会跟我介绍他最新的作品，叫做《星球大战：原力觉醒》。哇哦，说到这个星球大战系列呢，大家知道这可是影响着好莱坞流行文化的风向标。那同时呢，说到 Abrams， 比如说美剧《Lost》迷失，还有呢 Star Trek 这个星际迷航、黑暗边缘等等等等。那所以呢，接下来请观众朋友们跟随我们的镜头，跟随我们这位幕后制作天才一起去幕后探班。我是周玲安 Betty， 这里是玲安对话好莱坞 Talking to Hollywood with Betty Zhou。Let's go。
Hope is not lost today. We must face them. Fight them.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
Thanks for being on our show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so talk about this movie. What do you remember about your first experience seeing Star Wars: A New Hope?
I was very little. I was 11 years old, and it was mind-blowing. It was an incredible jump into a world full of adventure and romance and scope and scale, incredible droids and creatures and good versus evil, and it was just an amazing world that George Lucas created.
Can you describe how, an incredible phenomenon Star Wars is, and how the phenomenon still continued almost 40 years later?
This is a long time ago, back in 1975 and then 77 when Star Wars came out. Movies like Jaws and Star Wars were the first movies that they were called blockbusters. And they were called blockbusters because there were lines that went around the block. Before then, movies hadn't been this kind of business. But the profound thing about Star Wars is it came at a time in American cinema of a lot of cynicism and a lot of sort of darkness. Films were often about corruption and about sort of dark themes and subject matters. Suddenly Star Wars came out and it was full of hope and optimism and comedy and sweetness and great imagination. And now, years later, we're making a new trilogy, and The Force Awakens is the first of that.
I'm sure you're up for this.
Could you just speak to the scope of its popularity around the world?
I think the thing that is incredible to me is how far and wide this thing that was created decades and decades ago still matters and is still brand new for so many people. We have a 9-year-old at home, and when he was 6, he knew things about the characters in Star Wars of films he hadn't seen yet because he'd played like the Lego video game or, he'd seen a cartoon. Kids now are born sort of just knowing about the Force, which is the sort of energy that surrounds us all, knowing about Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, lightsabers. It's a very interesting thing how it's gone from a pop culture phenomenon to a sort of a cultural phenomenon.
I'll show them the dark side. Nothing will stand in our way.
Okay, so what kind of spaceship we can see in this movie?
There are some familiar ships like the Millennium Falcon, and we took designs that were so staples of Star Wars, like the Star Destroyer, which is the giant triangular ship, or the TIE Fighters, that are the 2 planes with the sphere, the X-Wings. We took those designs and we tried to incorporate some changes that made sense. We have ships that will look familiar but have some slight differences, and then some ships that are brand new.
And talk about China. Finally, we have the opportunity to enjoy Star Wars with the rest of the world. So, how would you describe what kind of special treat we can expect?
I really do feel like one of the most exciting things for us, knowing that we were going to, get this movie to the Chinese audience, it was really exciting to us to feel like we had the honor of making a film that was going to be the first major release in China of a Star Wars movie. All I would say is that you don't need to know a thing about Star Wars. This is not a movie that's meant for people who've studied up on the story of Star Wars. This is just for a movie-going audience. And I think that the comedy of it, the romance, the adventure, and that sense of unlimited possibility, in addition to the action of the movie and the scale of it, it's something that I remember the first time I saw Star Wars. It touched me in a way that was profound, and I just hope that this movie can have an impact like that on a brand new audience.
Actually, the whole China, we're excited about.
Oh, it's fantastic. Well, thank you.
The Force is calling to you.
How has it been for you to be at the center of the hurricane of these pop culture phenomenon?
Well, it's been an absolute thrill. It really has, and a kind of honor to get to be involved at all. I think that everyone involved in the movie came to it with a similar sort of passion. In fact, many of the crew members who worked on the movie had family members who had worked on the original films. And so it was a really interesting thing. It was kind of like people came to it with, it wasn't a job for anyone. It was sort of a, this campaign we were all on to do right by something that we all cared about and loved. The experience has been not just an honor and fun, but it's been by far the most challenging professional experience I've ever had, and also the most satisfying. Yeah.
I have lived long enough to see the same eyes in different people.
You don't know what I've seen. We all need to run.
This is our production company. We have an art studio over here. Want to see that? Can I show you?
Art studio in the office?
Yes. Let's go to the art studio, shall we? Come this way.
That's cool.
This is our art studio. We have an old letterpress where we used to make invitations and things. We have laser cutters and large format printers.
Oh, I know this one. AT&T. Right.
Yeah, that, yep.
Are you sure this is office?
This is the
This is the art.
This is the art studio. It's my favorite part of the office. If there's something that you want to make, you could do it here today. You don't have to send out for it. We use this place to design posters and sometimes props and other fun projects, make t-shirts.
This is not like an office. This is kind of like a dreamland.
The fun is to have a place that is about as much of kind of, you know, creativity and expression as possible.
Ah, this is the bad robot. Can I touch it?
Of course you can. Please.
Ta-da!
I did this TV show years ago called Alias, and I needed to have a production company name for the show. And I've been thinking about doing a children's book called Bad Robot, and I had to turn something in on Monday, and it was the weekend. So I thought, well, I'll just call the company Bad Robot for now. And it just sort of stuck.
I'm curious about the 3D printer. What's that really means?
The 3D printer, well, there's one here. The big one is here, but we do it to print. Let's see, do we have anything? The phaser. So like we printed that here.
Wow.
And they had them made and plated to look like this.
Wow.
But you can print those here.
Cool. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you so much, JJ. Thanks for
Thank
your
you,
time.
Betty. I really
Thank you
appreciate
for
it.
everything.
Oh, cheers.
Can't wait to go to see the movie.
I can't wait for you to see it. Hope you like it.
在下期的节目当中，我们的大导演 J.J. Abrams 将会亲自和我们介绍一下电影当中的世界，同时还会和我们分享《星球大战7：原力觉醒》当中宏伟壮观的场景。敬请收看《林安对话好莱坞》。